Run it up, ayy. Run it up. Run it up, ayy. Run it up. Run it up, ayy. Run it up. Oh, unnecessary, ayy. Unnecessary.
What's good, beautiful people? It's your boy Emmanuel. Welcome back again to the channel. If you're new to this channel, my name is Emmanuel. I do a lot of Nigerian music, African music, album reviews, reactions. For this one, we're doing just a review. Today's video, guys, you've seen it in the title. If you are not aware, DRB Lasgidi dropped a new album. I think it's a debut album under that name. If you do not know who DRB Lasgidi is, it's a Nigerian hip-hop Afrobeat boy band consisting of Budge, Fresh L, and TZ. Okay, they started way back in like almost 2010, 2011, around that time. Now, the origin of DRB Lasgidi is of a long one, but basically there was a bigger team called DRB, I think CEDRB, and then DRB Lasgidi just ended up being like the Lagos branch of this DRB conglomerate. And now the main reason why they call this album Pioneers is because they are the literal pioneers of this Alte movement that we see and hear today, this culture, this wave. They're the biggest catalyst of this movement, and apparently from the Loose Talk podcast episode, Budge actually came up with the name Alte. For those of you that don't really know what Alte is, I've said it in previous videos, it's not necessarily a sound. I think it's an essence. I think it's a culture. It's a new space for artists that don't necessarily are seeking the mainstream love, the mainstream mindset. You can see here some mainstream flavors into the music, but you've seen artists like Odunsi, Santi, Donli, Tems. Those artists have basically used the Alte space to create non-traditional Nigerian music that we usually know and hear in the pop scene. And these artists have taken hip-hop, jazz, soul, and R&B into another trajectory, and part of that essence was birthed with DRB Lasgidi, and hence why they're making this album in order to like proclaim that statement that, okay, we are the ones that push this movement. If not for us, a lot of these artists might not meet, and if not for this producer linking up with the producer, there's a whole lot that goes to show how much DRB are a major factor and player in Alte becoming what it is today. Alright, so that's why we have this Pioneer album, and I'm so excited. My first encounter with DRB Lasgidi was pretty much their major hit. I won't say a hit, but like it was a hit in the niche way. They've always created like a niche fan base. Each artist basically has their own solo career, and Budge for me is like pretty much the Beyonce of the group, and that's not a hot take, that's pretty much obvious. Every group has that, and he is. I mean, Migos has Quavo, Destiny's Child has Beyonce, and DRB Lasgidi has Budge. Fresh L and TZ are primarily rappers that come in and out of that that singing range, and while Budge usually is the one that takes on the responsibility of having the hook, for me Budge, and this sounds like a bold statement, is like top 5 greatest hook makers. He has this very unique voice that you cannot find anywhere else in the industry, and his entire steez, his entire like swagger on the record is nothing you can find. Like, you can't put a price on it, man. Budge is special. Not to discredit the effort of Fresh L and TZ, they both show up very well on this album. Now the album starts off with Softly, okay, and Softly was produced by YBNL's Feels. Are you mad? Are you hearing this? Immediately captivates me. It's a strong song that basically puts you in that palm wine atmosphere, and that Budge's raspy voice on the hook. Off the bat, Fresh L comes in with a very strong delivery.
Hello, my madam, why you moving up and down? You want to potato, others moving like
yeah. And I love the transition that they use between hooks and verses. It's so brilliant. It was so comedic at the same time as well. Now the next track, PARIWO with Donli, this is another strong one. It took me back to that 2011 essence, that Nigerian black magic, Ajibota kind of flow, that era, you know. It captivated that era for me, and the momentum was kept there, and it was another song that indicated, okay, like this is that passing of the torch kind of move that they made on the album. The entire album for me was a way to celebrate what the Alte movement has become right now. Donli shows up and weaves into the chorus with Budge, and it's amazing on this record, and it's a very strong one too. Kasala with Prettyboy D-O was amazing as well. Very organic, compatible collaborations all across the board here, and this was definitely one of them that worked so well. Unfortunately, the verses from Fresh L and TZ on this one were my least favorite in terms of the delivery, in terms of what they were saying. The highlights for this was definitely just the hook and chorus. The way Prettyboy D-O and Budge work on that is just match made in heaven, man. Like, it was supposed to happen. Like, this, it just made sense. Now, Santi takes us into that hip-hop trap scene, and who other to put you in that pocket other than Santi, okay? Something comes in there and delivers that atmosphere that we can get from Mandy in the Jungle album. With that high energy, very youthful kind of trap element that he has. And another artist that many people do not know was Mason 2500 as well. Like, I've been following this artist for a while now, and it was great to see him on this album. It made sense because this felt like almost 3 generations of that Alte clan. Okay, Teasy on the record, and then you have that torch being passed down to Santi, and then Santi passing it down to Mason. It really felt like a good trap hip hop moment. And Budge and Fresher were not on that record, but only Teasy was able to carry the song on, and it was definitely a strong listen. Now we transition immediately down to a smoother, low energetic vibe, and it's a soulful vibe. But on this, I didn't really like the transition from that high energy record to this one. I set it off, didn't really make too much of a statement compared to the rest of the songs here. Now from that, we get into Trouble with Tems, and this is pure sweet Afro house that I didn't expect DRB to even tackle that sound, but it made sense. Again, Pioneer album, it's supposed to celebrate all the alternative sounds. Definitely a highlight of the album. Tems man is out here killing it, okay? This is another strong feature that she's always had, from SCC's Palm Wine Express to Black Magic's album, and now this. Almost strong appearances, her and another artist that I'm going to talk about very soon on the next track. But yes, Tems definitely owned this moment. It's a very strong Afro house feel. Now we transition to honestly my favorite track on this entire album, the biggest highlight, the biggest moment for me, I swear, okay? This song resonates with me heavy, man. Okay, how I even stumbled upon this song. Usually I'd plan to make a reaction review kind of video for this album, but there was a day, and I tweeted it, there was a day I was just having like, I don't know, I was just having one of those moments where I felt my effort on this YouTube thing or this content creation thing I just wasn't having a good moment with what my platform had become because of how much I had pushed away and backlogged. So I just felt like I wasn't doing my best. I just had one of those moments that day that I was like, man, I just need to breathe. I just wanted to clear my head. And for me, it was just to take a walk, okay? I wanted to take a walk. And I remembered that Wani had tweeted something about this song, I swear. As I was taking this walk, I wanted to listen to some music. And then that tweet just came to mind. And I was like, all right, I think the narrative that he had about him not feeling, I guess, getting the response that he hoped from that Native Land show in 2018, and the energy that he went and wrote, I swear, I was like, okay, that seems like the right energy to like play right now, the right mood I should put myself in. Because that day I had planned to record videos, edit a whole bunch of videos. I was just not in the mood, I was just not feeling motivated at all. And I played the song on that walk, man. And then you just hear words like, can't fall asleep, not even on my off days. And you're like, wow, okay, like, it just changes the whole thing, okay? And it completely changes my mindset just from how much I could relate to that energy that the song talked about. I've had moments with a lot of albums where you kind of connect, and I'm sure if you've seen my Fireboy LTG review, there was a moment I had with Wait and See. It was that moment I had with this song, man. It was that moment I had that I was like, man, like, this song basically took me back to the drawing board and said, you know what, you gotta put in this work. Hearing the story behind the song and just the entire melody just made for a very good listen, very good bounce that I connected to, and definitely became a favorite on this. And you can hear Fresher and Teasy in their verses trying to tell that same narrative and how badly they want to prove to the naysayers or to basically come out and show and put out their best foot forward, and it was definitely felt all over the record. Budge, Wani, again, match made in heaven. Another perfect structure between hook and chorus. Budge comes in with an amazing catchy hook and sets Wani up to take the entire chorus by storm and just body it. Made for an absolute bop, okay? I swear, I swear, I swear, when no one's there, oh yeah. Now based on, this immediately, I saw that title track and I was thinking, oh man, they should have had Black Magic on this one. And it's a very funny comedic kind of song, but Budge coming in there with a very, very unique voice again. Budge's voice is so relaxing to listen to, bro. Like, now this song was the closest we could get to a social commentary kind of record.
Wow, Lagos do anyhow. At that one chance, moving anyhow. Gotta show that bully anyhow.
And give us that same bounce and flavor that we've grown to love from DRB Lasgidi. Now the track Unnecessary was the leading single that they had already put out before the album. It was a very nice bop with Odunsi, and it's definitely one of my favorite records on the album.
Oh, unnecessary, ay, unnecessary, ay, oh, lolifi, any cemetery. We're done a liga, oh, illegal, whoa, we're done a liga, oh, illegal, yeah.
You might hear that you think they're glamorizing illegal practices to get money. No, I think it's the opposite. They're just talking about how necessary money is. Cemetery. It's basically telling you that, okay, money is that important that like, it can get you killed. It can get you killed out here, okay? And the line whether not legal or illegal, it just speaks to the extent of how much people would go to get money. Did not say you should go and be pressing laptop or no, that's not what they're saying. But another line was when Fresher said, heard you niggas sold your soul, but for me no be so. You say Fresher no go blow, but Nagari it is so. But basically flaunting on how his music hustle is legal and he still puts food on the table for him. That's basically what the flex was. Big shout out to DJ Lawal that wrote an amazing article on this song and basically to defend the, I guess, backlash that they had back then when this song was released and people were like, oh, you're glorifying illegal activity. And he wrote an amazing Medium article that you guys could check it out. It's in the description below. And Necessary made for a very good listen. It's a whole vibe, it's a whole mood. So that was a very good moment for Odunsi as well to step up. Again, showing that tie and connection to the Alte scene. This was an Alte moment for sure. Now the following track again, Shomo with Olamide, was almost the antithesis of what the Pioneer album should feel like. Again, yes, Budge is an artist that he plays with the line of mainstream and Alte. He has basically felt like he has been on the verge of mainstream for a long time, but at the same time keeping his own lane. Budge is in that sweet spot, okay? Now with him and Olamide, I can see that organically happening, but with DRB Lasgidi and Olamide, it just didn't feel compatible. On paper, it just doesn't look right. It just doesn't sound right at all. Especially with the Phil's beat again. This felt like an Olamide moment more than a DRB moment. It just left a weird, funny taste. Olamide did his thing, but one thing is sure, it definitely doesn't capture the essence of Alte or what the scene of Alte means. In my books at least, because you can have your own definition of what Alte means, but this song wasn't a good moment for that definition. I guess this was an attempt to actually have a commercial song that could take you out there, hence why you would have a big name artist to feature on the album. And I could definitely see why Olamide was on this. It took me back to when Odunsi had RUNTOWN on DAVIDO, but one thing you could notice between those features that Odunsi had, he put them into his world, into his space, not the other way around. This DRB feature with Olamide went the other way around. I feel like they should have made a DRB moment with Olamide, not necessarily an Olamide moment with DRB, if you know what I mean.
See the way we the ball, see the way we the flex, see the way we the turn up, see the way we the shama, oh yeah.
Odunsi somehow made DAVIDO and RUNTOWN shift into his world and basically make themselves fit into the album. This is not what happened here. Next Gen is another single that was out. Now, Next Gen wasn't really a favorite of mine. I could definitely respect and see why they made the song or what the song was about. The melody for me seemed lazy and not really like intentional. It just seemed very, very repetitive and not really saying much. And hardly would you ever find a Budge hook that doesn't work, but somehow this one didn't. Now, the last record, The Game, was definitely them talking on an Ade beat. It sounded like they were high on something, man, but it definitely was a moment for them to captivate, oh yeah, why they're making the album. Like, okay, we've been out here like 10 years deep as a group. I honestly thought they were not a thing, not until like last year or so. All the artists had their own solo career and dropping their own EPs and albums, but this record kind of summed everything up, and it was a nice, okay, just talk over the beat kind of moment. In a way, how disorganized and rowdy the talking over the beat kind of sounded, it kind of captivated that essence of, okay, we're not even trying to be cookie cutter here. Like, they are the antithesis of anything cookie cutter or proper, okay? And this was a very on-brand moment for the song. Again, captivates the essence of the entire group and why they are the pioneers of this new space in music. And this album was supposed to celebrate that fact, and it did well by bringing on amazing features like Lady Donli, Prettyboy D-O, Santi, Odunsi, Mason 2500. It just made for a good celebration of that. I would have loved to see a lot more artists collaboration. They didn't want to make this a quagmire. Mind you, they have to fit 3 voices on every song, on most of the songs, but definitely it's still made for a good moment by introducing those Alte artists that they've passed the torch down to, and they've made their appearance there to show and to prove to the pioneers that, look, this is definitely a moment for them, and we're giving them the props. A lot of people are just finding out about DRB now because they've been quiet for a minute. They've not necessarily come together as a group to do many things. If I'm not mistaken, this would be considered their debut album, because prior to this, it was just mixtapes, and they were in the mixtape era, man. They came up in the mixtape era, so it made sense. From being pioneers in that lane, they've been really quiet, okay? And this album was supposed to be a way just to like brag about that point, about that notion, and claim it. It almost felt like a T.I. I'm the king of the South moment, okay? I loved how they explored all the different sounds and that Alte space kind of incorporates. The one thing that wasn't really captured too much was the soulful, jazzy, funkadelic kind of music, but they're not really that sound. So again, Alte is not really a sound, but again, it's an essence, it's a spirit, it's a vibe. They still captured it with all the other ranges of sounds that they were able to bring in: the hip-hop, the Afro soul with On Trouble with Tems, the trap feel of Necessary, down to the hip-hop jive of I Swear. It was a nice mix of styles all over the board. My biggest takeaway from the album is I Swear. I Swear is still my favorite to this day, the one that I resonate with so much. I go back to it for a good listen. Wani bodying it, just sounding so clean, man. Wani sounded so clean on this record. It's like this song should be bigger than what it is right now. Tems doing that international steez as well made another solid bop for Trouble. Another one was Softly, man. Softly with that palm wine groove, that palm wine essence. It felt like Sparks produced it, but we have to give Fields the credit. And Budge, again, Budge being Budge, primarily the center of the group, the center of this album, man. He's the glue. He's the glue for this album, especially every hook, every moment that he's chimes into a song. You're just ready and anticipating him to spit on the song. That was a weird visual. Why did I say spit on the song? But anyways, you get what I mean. Fresh L, TZ doing amazing. Fresh L definitely exceeding my expectations for him on this album. He brought it into pockets that I didn't really have seen him work. Softly was amazing. Now, songs that didn't really resonate with me or serve too much purpose for the album, Shoma absolutely could have not made it here. I know we needed like a mainstream big name feature one way or the other, but this is not how you do it. Next Gen, not real exciting bop, a very lazy, repetitive hook. Now set it off, I might give it a chance to grow on me, but at the moment it's not really stand out. It just felt like a filler in the album. Now my overall rating for DRB Lasgidi Pioneer, I'm giving it a strong 7, okay? It's a strong 7 out of 10 for me. Let me know in the comment section what you guys thought about this album. What were your favorite, what were your least favorites? Again, if you're new to this channel, check out the other content. I have album reviews, I have reactions. I'm working on so many game shows that I've had in the back burner. So keep it logged, hit the notification bell. You never know when I'm dropping, okay? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I've been your boy, Mano. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Oh, unnecessary, ay, unnecessary,